I've broken down personal branding to the roots of personal branding, because I think a lot of the problems people have later on in personal branding deciding what content to actually make comes from not doing this stuff in the first place. So we're going to break it down completely to where you start with a personal brand and then build it back up. And then towards the end, we'll jump on, I'll review whatever personal brands you guys have got and your Instagram and answer any questions. But basically where a lot of people get stuck with a personal brand, when they get later down the line, and one of the most common questions is, what do I make content about? And the reason they have this question is because they've not spent any time in solitude thinking about who they actually are. A personal brand needs to be you at your essence. And most of us, myself included, don't know who we actually are as men and what our actual values are and what we actually believe in and what we actually want to put forward to the world. So the first task of basically this call, and for any of you that want to make it with a personal brand, I believe should be to take time alone without the influence of anyone else's content, without the influence of my content or anything you see on the internet. Take time alone without your phone. And there's a book I want you to read. It's called Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life. It's absolutely incredible. I'm reading it at the moment. If I spend the comparison, basically, I think the biggest pandemic we have in the world is that we all live in our phones. That's the biggest pandemic. When I walk around the mall, I just finished a workout at the mall nearby, and I didn't have my phone in my hand. I wasn't looking at it, had it in my pocket, listening to some music. And I walked through the mall and I looked at everyone, and 75% of people are just hunched over, fat, looking at their phones, totally separated from the real world. Now, I think to become a master of personal branding, to become someone that people admire, you have to separate yourself as someone that lives, be a king of the real world, basically. Be a king of the real world. Us men with real morals, real values, that understand who we are and become the absolute best versions of ourselves. So read that book, Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life. If you need to, take some time away, book a vacation, spend 2 days without your phone, and read this book and decide, through this book, basically gives you the wisdom of the ages about what we should become as people in general. Read that book and decide what you agree with, what you don't agree with, and who you actually are at a base level. And write that down, because then you can decide, what is the aim of my personal brand? Who do I want to become? And the next section of personal branding is basically deciding who you are and what your base values are, who you want to become, and then becoming the man that you admire in all aspects of your life. You find it hard to post content when you're not hitting your routine. That's what I've found. If I fall off personally, I don't feel worthy of making content. I don't feel like I want to get on camera because I feel like I'm bullshitting. But when I'm totally aligned with who I am as a person and my routine's dialed in and I know who I am, making content comes very easy because you have revelations, you have things that have helped you. The whole point of personal brand is to help yourself become the man that you admire, give that man to the world through content on, and we'll go into the technical side of how you do that with the amount you should post and things like that. But that, I actually believe, is the most important thing you can do with a personal brand, is that activity we just talked about, figuring out who you are, building the routine that makes you that man, that sticks to those values, and then just dialing into those values, the things you believe in, and giving that to people on a daily level. So the ones that feel the same as you flock and become the fans of your personal brand, which leads on to selling that dream of who you are and having the right audience. That's the most important stuff that you can do. Now, from a tech point of view, and from a scheduling and actually making the content point of view, what does this look like in building out? Once you've built that person and you're becoming it, how often should you be posting? What should you post on? All that sort of stuff. So easiest place to start is Instagram. I've gone over this many times before, but I'll do it again. The easiest place, the lowest friction place, in my opinion, is with stories. With Instagram stories, 10 of those a day. That's where the original ideas, the daily life of you comes out, and you give that to people 10 times a day with the things that tie in with your values, and you just cement that home, because it's these people that watch you every day and they see you turn up every single day. That builds a crazy amount of trust, to the point where somebody will send you huge amounts of money to be part of your community, to be part of learning how to be like you. When they see you turn up every day, they no longer think you're a scammer, you're going to run off, because they feel like they see you every day. They feel like you're their friend. Why would you post for 100 days every single day and be around for them, helping them, and then disappear? That's where the core trust is built inside of a personal brand, is on that Instagram, in the stories, just showing when you wake up, if you want to, what you eat in the day, what you're thinking about that certain day, topics in the news, giving your opinion on them so people can either agree with your opinion or disagree, doing Q&As, showing yourself working out, showing yourself becoming and following the stuff that you preach is basically what you do every day on stories. After stories, next level up is reels. And the reason reels are so important is because they give you your new traffic, they give you your new people. I've grown about 42,500 followers on Instagram since January through posting reels, solely reels. So there's a huge audience to be grabbed in reels when you know how to make them the right way. Now, I don't know what the right way is for all of you, but I can tell you what's worked for me and what is working for me right now. The best thing to do with reels, I've found, is to create reels that are 10 to 15 second clips of your life, no text on the screen, no cuts. So if you actually look at my Instagram and go through it, you'll notice that most of my stuff is literally just 10 to 15 second clips of me doing my life. And the way you set that up is the people you're around, anyone in the New Elite that you hang out with, your girlfriend, your friends, they should all know to get their phones out and film you throughout the day when you're doing your thing, when you're training, when you're buying something in the shop, when you're walking around. People seem to like looking into people's lives from this outside standpoint and peering through the window naturally into your life through Instagram Reels. That's what I've found anyway for me. Now, that doesn't work on its own. That has to be paired with music. Music's super, super powerful, the way that music makes you feel. There's a reason why, I think it was Pepsi paid Michael Jackson 10 million or 20 million just to use one of his songs and put him in a commercial with Pepsi, because they understand the importance of changing somebody's state. We live in a time right now where you can use music to advertise yourself and your brand and who you are as a person. So you can use your favorite music, who you are and what you listen to. Basically, you can catalog all your music with your life. You pair those two together, and people start to relate that feeling of how the music makes them feel, how what they're seeing, the inspirational stuff on the screen makes them feel, how you bettering that your life makes them feel. And that's how you hook them, and you get this emotional tie to your brand. I think anyway, that's what has been working well for me. And the third factor of this is to put in on the text and the caption is breed back into them your thoughts, values, and beliefs that you've been hammering home in the stories. So it can either be, humor's very good, adding humor in. That seems to be very good for generating likes. You can do a quote that you've come up with yourself. You can copy a quote that you like. You can say something insightful about life. That is basically what I do in my captions, or I use a lyric from the song that I've used. That's my very simple Reels strategy. You could spend a day with a cameraman, with your girlfriend, basically filming everything, and you've got 10 and 15 second clips that you can use for the next 10 to 15 days of content. When it comes to blowing up on Instagram, I spoke to the guys at Instagram about this. They do when you reach a certain level or followers, you get an option to do a call with their team. And I did a call with their team around Christmas. They said the most important thing is that you post the same amount of reels every week. If you want to do one a week, I wouldn't recommend it, but it's better than doing one this week, two the next week, three the next week. Instagram's looking for consistency in your posting to push you into the algorithm. Now the algorithm takes every single one of my videos, feeds it out to new people, because I do one every single day. I've been doing one every single day since January. So my recommendation would be to do one every single day at the same time. You can schedule them on Instagram. You just go to the extra settings. When it comes to posting, go down to the bottom, click settings, click that you want to schedule your reels all in advance, same time every day. That would be my recommendation, is one a day of this kind of content. That is what works for me. That's what I know about. Also use the Instagram editor compared to CapCut. Most people don't fucking edit or make reels because they have to use an editing software or CapCut, which actually destroys your reach in the algorithm according to Instagram. They prefer people to use their own editor. So people are making these fancy fucking reels in CapCut, trying to make it all fancy, using up a month's worth of content in one single video because they think it's going to do better. And for me personally, having tested this, it doesn't work any better. It's just better to simply use Instagram for all your stuff, add in the music, scheduling, no text on screen, nothing fancy. That's what's worked for me. Maybe you'll find there might be people who have already found another niche or another way of making content that's blowing up for them. But for me personally, this is what I do day in, day out, and that's what's led to my growth. So that's what I wanted to give you. I'm also experimenting with posting pictures right now because I've been doing so many reels that I have not been posting any pictures. And I think the pictures are a pretty powerful tool as well for just solidifying your brand with your current following. They don't get pushed out as much as your reels do to get a new audience, but they're quite a nice place, especially with the carousel, where you can solidify home a message with the caption, with the carousel, taking screenshots from your Twitter, posting it in. That's very shareable on your post. So if you have like a screenshot or something you've written on Twitter that did well, you can just screenshot that, take the image, stick it in your carousel with the pictures of your life. You can add music to it. You can add a caption. That's quite nice, I've found, for solidifying your current audience and what they believe in, and just building a better relationship with them in the comments and replying back to them and really building a community inside of your Instagram. So you'll see a lot more images from me. I did some yesterday, did some day before. I'm going to be doing now, probably not every day, but 3 or 4 times a week, these carousel posts with music, and also my daily reels and daily stories. And that's what I'm doing at the moment, just to give you guys an update on what I'm doing with my brand. So that's basically Instagram in a nutshell. Once you've dialed in who you are, what you want to show to people, that is Instagram. And the beauty of Instagram is when it comes to launching offers, you've got the stories that you can obviously promote and send people to your VSL. You should be doing that 2 to 3 times a week, I think. Once you do have an offer that's running, you should be constantly sending people there and talking about your products all the time. That's a very good way to build up that revenue, basically. And that's where you start. So Instagram is basically a business powerhouse on its own. You can build and scale a brand, I think, totally with Instagram. The next section is YouTube, or your longer form content. This is where people build a real good relationship with you. People need like 7, 8 touch points before they buy. That's what they say. They need to understand you and get to know you. You basically take everything that the philosophy of your brand, whatever it may be in whatever niche, you take the philosophy of that brand that you've shown to people in short form content, and you then expand on it. So you take one point that's done well, or a reel that did well on Instagram, because it ticked a little box and people kind of, you see what pops off, and then you just take that content and you expand it. You expand that content into a long format video. Now, in terms of videos on YouTube, I think the best way to get started is how-to videos, is changing people's lives and educating them on your philosophies, because you need a reason for someone to watch. You need them to gain value. So vlogs, all that sort of stuff that show lifestyle, they're really good, but a little bit later down with the brand, with the exception of a vlog that can go viral. So I think it was you, Lewis, that I spoke to, and Lewis did a video. I don't know if you've released it yet, Lewis, but you told me about a video he's filmed doing cold approaching, trying to get rejected by girls cold approaching, something like that. Vlogs like that, they have this entertainment factor that will get views. When it's something that not many people are willing to go out and do, that's what will get views. That's how I started, was cold approaching women. That kind of boosted the brand, and then I did education stuff. So educate people, those education videos, if done in the right way, using Loom, using presentations, just using a PowerPoint doc in front of you, or a Word doc and going through it and talking to camera, that works very well. If you got the balls, go and do something a little bit crazy or a little bit out there and put that on the internet in vlog format to try and get that virality. In terms of YouTube, what I'm doing now with my team is breaking down my best videos, podcasts, to 7 shorts a week on top of the 3 YouTube videos a week. So we're also going to have 7 shorts going out just because you got a chance of popping off, and now you can link the main video to the short. So the short goes viral, you can then click under the short and watch the full video. So we think that's going to be pretty good. We haven't quite ticked over and found what the good stuff to do on YouTube is yet in terms of shorts. because our shorts are performing trash right now. We did have it before where they were doing really well, like 500,000 views on shorts. So we're just figuring that out. As I figure that, I'll feed it back to you. But we're experimenting with different types of content at the moment on YouTube. A little bit of the technical side of getting content shot. We've gone through this before. I'll say it again. You have to be one take Tony. One take Tony, you get the camera out to film your videos and you don't press the off button. That's very important. There was a long time when I was making videos where I'd press the off button if I didn't get something exactly right, and then I'd try and repeat the video over and over again to get it perfect, and I'd burn myself out. Do one shot, click the button, get through the whole video of what you wanted to say. Even if you mess up, get the editor to fix it afterwards. That will save you a lot of time and hassle. Also, if you're not around anyone right now that can take videos of you in your day-to-day life, get one of those little mini tripods that just goes out, put your phone in it. When you're training, get it set up, take your content there. When you're doing things in your life, take content with your tripod. If you don't have anyone to film you, that's what you should be doing. Just get over the embarrassment of having to film yourself in public. It's not even a big deal anymore. Like, everyone's fucking doing it anyway. So I'll get my phone out and film or make content or start making a video absolutely anywhere I am. And I do not care anymore. But that's just a matter of time. You get used to it over time. You just let go of that fear and you start filming everything. So boys, that's basically a quick masterclass on the personal branding stuff.
Actually want if you could have anything, and who would you be? Most people are not operating anywhere near the level that they could be. Most people don't even know. They want a better life, but they don't know what that is. The quickest way to become the person you want to become is to get new friends. You only need to hear one thing slightly differently and it pushes you to that next level. If the pack that you're rolling with is destructive, it's going to destroy you. No matter how strong-willed you are, if you keep hanging out with those people, you'll be the same as them. But it works the other way around. If you're with 5 guys that are absolutely killing it, you'll become the 6th.